People go on and on about like you have to forgive and forget to move past something. No, you don't. You don't have to forgive and you don't have to forget to move on. You can move on without any of those things happening.
Yes, Taylor Swift agreed to be deposed by Brian Friedman.
Could Taylor Swift's text messages actually destroy Blake Lively's case? And does Justin already have them?
Blake Lively is unraveling fast as Judge Lyman seizes on Taylor Swift's evidence to shred her case. Explosive texts suggest Blake not only tried to pressure Taylor, but even begged her to delete messages. Meanwhile, Lyman is hammering Wayfair for dragging its feet, and Justin Baldoni has upped the stakes, bringing in powerhouse attorneys Alexander Shapiro and Jonathan Bach to tighten the noose.
Finally, it says here at the end, Ms. Lively misleading implies the Wayfair parties seek a blanket 30-day extension of the discovery cutoff date. In fact, the Wayfair parties request an agreement solely to take the deposition of Taylor Swift.
Forget the polished red carpets. Forget the picture-perfect Instagram family moments. This is the real Blake, cornered in court while Taylor Swift, of all people, prepares to take the stand. From October 20th to 25th, 2025, Taylor is scheduled for a full deposition with Brian Friedman. Not a friendly chat, a recorded on-camera interrogation where every word is preserved forever. Imagine Blake's panic. The friend she leaned on for years is now poised to peel back the curtain on her entire case.
Lively's team is complaining to the judge that they haven't seen these signal messages that they think is going to involve some kind of bombshell or some kind of evidence. And they're complaining to the judge that they haven't been able to see them yet. And Baldoni's team is saying that we are willing to give it to you, but it takes a while to retrieve these messages.
Here's where the breakdown begins. Judge Lyman already granted Wayfair access to the Swift Lively messages months ago. Blake was ordered to turn them over. But when has she ever looked like someone eager to hand over evidence that could bury her? She stalled, delayed, pretended the rules didn't apply. Yet Lyman was crystal clear. Those texts are part of discovery. And now, with Taylor officially stepping into the hot seat, Blake's hide-and-seek game is finished. No amount of Hollywood polish can protect her when the world's biggest pop star is sworn in under oath.
Talking about the deposition dates for Justin Baldoni, which is, I think, September 21st and September 22nd. And Blake Lively's team wants to see all these messages before they're subpoenaing everyone, blah, blah, blah.
The irony is brutal. Back in May 2025, Blake's camp strutted to Variety mocking Wayfair for daring to subpoena Taylor, crowing that Friedman was out of ammo when the subpoena got dropped. But here we are, months later, and the joke's on them. Taylor didn't just get pulled in. She volunteered. No Hollywood stalling, no diva theatrics. She said yes. And you can almost hear Blake's stomach drop. Let's not pretend this is friendship anymore. That bridge is ashes. You don't unfollow Ryan Reynolds if you're still clinking champagne with Blake. Taylor never sued Friedman for dragging her name into filings. She never lifted a finger to defend Blake when she easily could have. Silence speaks louder than 1,000 Instagram posts, and Taylor's silence has been deafening. Everyone sees it. Everyone knows it. That decade-long alliance is dead. And now Taylor's walking in with the receipts. Ugly receipts. We're not talking hurt feelings. We're talking claims that Blake tried to blackmail Taylor and begged her to delete texts.
Well, I mean, Friedman said specifically, right, when he put that order out that, someone close to Taylor, which it seems was her father, was not only saying that, there was stuff, but that Blake was asking Taylor to delete text messages. If that's found, that's going to be brutal. I mean, that's definitely not going to help her case.
That's not just messy, it's evidence tampering. Imagine being so desperate you text your megastar best friend, "Hey, can you delete that?"
Really, Blake?
This isn't a brunch group chat. This is a federal case. You don't delete discovery. That's legal kindergarten. And Blake clearly skipped school. Which brings us to the second bomb. The texts themselves. Perez Hilton, love him or hate him, claims Wayfair's lawyers have already seen them. Let that sink in.
Wayfair parties have seen the text messages between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively.
Baldoni's team has eyes on those messages. And according to Perez's source, they're catastrophic for Blake. Not slightly embarrassing, not inconvenient, catastrophic. The kind of catastrophic that makes your entire case collapse like a flimsy script rewrite. And while Taylor isn't thrilled about her private chats going public, at least she's not the one on trial. Blake is. And those messages are about to do more damage than any tabloid headline ever could.
I think they have the text messages, and I think they got them recently, and that's why they decided to pull this last-ditch effort to get Taylor Swift to get to post. I think if they had something prior, they probably would have tried to get her on the book sooner.
So, what's inside these texts? Some allegedly show Blake flat out pressuring Taylor. Others may directly contradict what Blake has already sworn under oath. That's perjury territory, and juries feast on that. The cherry on top? Blake's genius idea to use Signal, the app with auto-delete. Because nothing screams innocent like picking a platform designed to make conversations vanish. Her team whined about how long it takes to retrieve those messages. Please. That's like robbing a bank and then complaining the police are too slow counting the cash. Friedman wasn't buying it. He insisted the data was retrievable, and now with Taylor's deposition looming, whatever Blake thought she buried could be dragged straight into the light.
But, I mean, Taylor's legal team made it clear that they were only notified 3 days before that they were even being dragged back into this for a deposition. So I think that's probably when they got the text messages. We do know that Lyman ruled in favor of the Wayfair parties to get the text messages. So I'm assuming they've now entered the group chat, and there's probably something in there that contradicts something that Blake has said.
And let's not forget Friedman's affidavit. This isn't gossip. This is sworn testimony. Blake asked Taylor to erase evidence. If Taylor confirms it under oath, it's not just humiliating, it's obstruction. You can't spin that into a misunderstanding between friends. It's obstruction, plain and simple. The kicker? Everyone thought these texts would leak to TMZ. Wrong. Wayfair isn't playing tabloid games. They're sitting on them like a nuclear warhead, waiting for the perfect moment to detonate in court filings.
If Taylor Swift are going to share these things under that deposition, under oath, and she is Justin Baldoni's witness.
Picture Blake, thinking she's finally regained control. Then suddenly, her own words are read aloud in open court. No paparazzi needed, just cold, hard legal ammo. Where does that leave her? Cornered. Her strategy has always been smoke, mirrors, and tantrums, stall, distract, and hope celebrity status bails her out. But celebrity clout collapses when Taylor Swift is on the other side of the table. She isn't just a witness. She's the world's biggest pop star. If Taylor swears Blake pressured her or asked her to delete evidence, the whole defense disintegrates. Blake knows it. That's why the panic is written all over her.
I'm assuming they've now entered the group chat, and there's probably something in there that contradicts something that Blake has said that I think will be useful to the Wayfair parties and would have been useful had they been able to depose.
Blake thought charm, bullying, and PR spin could save her. But PR doesn't shield you from depositions. Red carpets don't erase chat logs. And mocking Wayfair back in May? That aged like milk. They didn't fold. They waited. And now the endgame is Taylor Swift under oath this October, with the world watching Blake's case implode. Blake built her brand on polish, perfection, and family fairy tales. In this courtroom, she looks sloppy, desperate, exposed. And the cruelest twist? The very friend she thought would protect her is about to become the star witness against her.
This was all part of the plan where Taylor's like, look, I'll give you some dirt against Blake. I'll give you these texts. Obviously, let's do it that way. But we have to ensure I don't have to testify. Like that, I'm not going to do. If you want me to play easy, I'll give you this bullet. But we have to make sure it looks like I'm not privy to it and you forced it out of me.
Judge Lyman had finally had enough. You could practically see steam rising when Wayfair begged for a measly 10-day extension. Normally, judges grant those in a heartbeat, but not after 6 wasted months. 6 months they were supposed to spend gathering evidence, building their case, organizing discovery. Instead, they stalled. They procrastinated. And then, at the last second, dumped 100,000 documents on the court's desk like confetti. That's not strategy. That's a tantrum disguised as paperwork.
Also, according to what leaked to the media back in May, Taylor Swift had been asked by Blake Lively to delete text messages between them. That's basically evidence tampering, which is very serious.
So Lyman said no, flat out. And who can blame him? It wasn't about 10 days. It was about principle. Half a year had already gone up in smoke. If you wait until the 11th hour to unleash a tsunami of filings, don't expect sympathy. Judges hate being gamed. They hate wasted time. And in federal court, time is gold. Wayfair blew it.
To miss Swift's pre-existing professional obligations. Whether the court agrees to the broader modification sought by plaintiff, the Wayfair parties respectfully request that the court modify the scheduling order for the sole purpose of accommodating third-party witness Taylor Swift.
And then came the subpoenas. Wayfair couldn't even manage basics like correct addresses. When you ask to subpoena someone, you provide details. You don't shrug and say, "We didn't think it mattered." That's amateur hour. Meanwhile, Friedman strutted in front of cameras promising to sue Blake into oblivion, only to collapse in court over fundamentals. Oblivion, please? Blake looks more alive than ever. It's Wayfair that's gasping for credibility.
Donnie's team agreed to drop the subpoena against Taylor Swift. In that subpoena, they were looking for information how Taylor Swift was actually involved in the production and everything with It Ends With Us. Now, that's not really their goal here. Their goal here is to get the information out of Taylor Swift.
Legal analyst Ron nailed it. Small extensions don't usually bother judges. But Lyman's refusal showed he was done babysitting. His patience was gone. You could practically hear him thinking, "I'm not here to manage clowns." That's the last tone you want from a federal judge. But Wayfair earned it. Every sloppy filing, every hollow promise. They spent more time chasing gossip headlines than convincing the man in the robe, and now they're paying for it. Every time Friedman played to the cameras, the courtroom backlash hit harder. He promised fireworks, promised to bury Blake, yet buried his own credibility instead. Like a magician announcing tricks only to trip over his cape before pulling the rabbit out of the hat. No wonder critics say Baldoni's side wasted their energy on spectacle instead of precision. The court doesn't care about splashy moments. It cares about receipts, and Wayfair keeps fumbling them.
Senator Shapiro's no joke. We had Ron on who was talking about that's a ballsy move. That's a show off flex. Like, we got someone in here and she's more capable to handle this trial than, let's be honest, Friedman's not always a trial attorney. So it does seem like they are trying to do some flexing now, but
here's where it gets interesting. Just when Wayfair's legal strategy looked like one long blooper reel, they leveled up. Enter Alexander Shapiro. If you don't know her, let me paint the picture. She clerked for not one, but two federal judges, including a stint with Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court. This isn't a PR stunt hire. This is the lawyer you bring in when you're already thinking about appeals, when you know the current judge isn't buying what you're selling. Shapiro is appellate law, white-collar defense, and complex litigation rolled into one. She's not here to soothe egos. She's here to dismantle rulings line by line and argue why the judge got it wrong.
That these text messages have been sent or have been seen by Baldoni's team. He said that this person told him, this is not good for Blake Lively. He also thinks that it's not great for Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift doesn't want to get dragged into this. And of course, she doesn't want her text messages to become...
And she's not coming alone. Jonathan Bach just joined the roster too, another heavyweight in white-collar defense. Together, they signal a shift. Wayfair is done clowning around in Judge Lyman's courtroom. They're building an escape route straight to the appellate court. And here's the trick. Appeals don't retry cases. Appeals are about proving the judge made mistakes. And Lyman? He's given them plenty to work with. He blocked witnesses, rejected delays, and in their eyes, bent over backwards to favor Blake. That's the record Shapiro is already sharpening into ammunition.